Welcome back to this series on how to use ELMS. For this video, we'll be talking about the lectures. Lectures, which is just creating and hosting of live classes. To create a lecture, we use this button here, and we give this lecture a title. The lecture can be private or it can be public. For now, during creation, you can only select private, or you can update it after the lecture has been created. So you schedule it. As you can see, it has been created. To edit it, like modify the details, we click on it. Now, let me walk you through each of these fields. This is just the lecture title. Then we have the lecture access. The lecture can either be private or it can be public. A private lecture, you can think of it like going into a class, videoing yourself, and later posting that video for your students. While on the other hand, public is you allow your students to also join you in the class. You can still be recording as well, and you can ask questions. The next one is record this lecture. As the name implies, you tick this if you want to be able to record this lecture. And when you select it, you will be asked to select a library collection of which the video, the recording, will be saved into. So I'll select the collection we created earlier. It means that after this lecture is done, the recording is going to be processed and is going to be uploaded into this indices collection, and you'll be notified when that is done. Now onto the schedule settings. Just like in the real world, whereby when you need to have a lecture with your students, you fix a date and a time with them. It's exactly the same thing we are doing here. You select a date that works for you and your students, and you select how long this lecture is going to last. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to select the earliest. I'm going to select today as the date and the earliest time today. So when you select date, different available time slots will be displayed. You can see it. So it's currently around 1:23 a.m. here. So I'm going to select the first time slot, making our lecture date be 4th of January 2026 by 1:30 a.m. and I'll leave the duration as 30 minutes. So when all this has been done, you just click on schedule lecture and the lecture will be scheduled immediately. So you can see this warning: lecture details cannot be modified within 10 minutes of start time, during or after the lecture. Because it's less than 10 minutes to the lecture we just scheduled, so I can't change anything about it again. So you can see it here. It's a private lecture. We enable recording and it's not yet time for it. So we'll get back to this video when it's time for it and we'll see how it works. So it's past 1:30 a.m. here, and you can see the lecture status has been updated to live. So to join this lecture, you simply tap on it and you click on this join lecture button. So please ignore these items on the whiteboard. I started recording this video before now, few minutes before now, and I found out that my mic was not on. So we'll come back to this whiteboard. Let me just take you through on how the important features around this lecture page. So if this were to be a public lecture, you see a list of your students here. You see them appear under this members tab. You can remove any of them, you can mute or unmute any of them. There's also a settings where you can use to mute all of them at once, disable them from being able to mute or unmute themselves, from being able to raise their hands, from being able to chat, or from being able to drop reactions. Also, you can download the participant list, which is just the students currently in the classroom. So this is the public lecture, chats, and it's going to be cleared once this lecture is over. So I'll just type something here. Just leave it as hello student. And let's look at this top section. This is the button to start the recording. We'll just start it now. This last button, you can use it to leave the session, leaving it just you leaving this room. While ending is you ending the lecture for all your students. When you leave, your students will still be in the lecture room, but when you end it for all of them. The one thing to also say is, when you end this lecture, let's assume you schedule the lecture for 30 minutes and it's going to end by 2. If you end this lecture by 10 minutes to 2, so far as it's not yet up to 2 a.m., you can always steal from the instructor's dashboard, click join lecture, and you'll be able to join this room again. And everything you have here on the whiteboard will still be saved, so you don't lose it until the lecture time is over. So I'm going to walk you through some of the important whiteboard features here by the right. But before we get to that, I'll just show you the ones on the bottom and how they work. So this is the first one, share camera as content. You can try this out on your own when you're testing this. The next button is to mute or unmute yourself. The second button is to share a clip of yourself, to to enable your camera. And the next button is to share your screen. The next button here is mostly used by students to raise their hand. When a student raises their hand, you see a notification here that a student's hand has been raised, and you can either respond to the student's question if that's the case, or you can take down the hand by yourself. And this last one is for reactions. You or the students can use it to drop reactions during the class. This last button here is to bring this whiteboard back. For example, let's assume you're sharing your screen and you want to navigate back to the whiteboard. You can either click on this share screen button again to stop, or you just click on this last one and you'll be taken back to the whiteboard. So let's walk through these features of the whiteboard one by one. I'll delete all these things like I did before. Let's have a fresh page to start. So we start with the most important, which is, let's start with text. To write something on this whiteboard, you can select text from the side here and write. Or you double tap and you write. You can update the style of any text you want. Also increase the size. You can play around all of these to see how it works. There's also a drawing tool. You can use it to draw whatever you want. Freestyle. You can use it to, there's also an eraser tool. You can use it to remove something you initially dropped on this whiteboard. Like, let me remove this text. You can also remove a text by just right clicking, an item by just right clicking, selecting it, right clicking, and delete. Also, there is an undo and redo button by the bottom left here. You can undo whatever you do or redo it as well. And this is just this note box. It's used when you want to write something. You can just try out all these features and you will know when you need any of them. I've showed the most important at least. So there can be different slides. In a live scenario, you cannot have up to 15 slides. You can use any of them to display your content. So I also wrote this text from the previous recording. Switch to any slide. You can drop whatever you want here. And use it however you want. The best way to learn how to use this particular one is just to schedule private lectures and come in here and just keep on trying these things. It's very easy to use. It's not like it's complicated. So it's just 3 minutes before this lecture ends. Once the end time reaches, the lecture will automatically be ended and the recording will take some minutes and before it's processed and uploaded into your collection. So we'll just wait and see how the lecture ends. I'll be designing something while we are waiting. few seconds from now, the lecture should end. You can see the session has been ended, so you just wait a few minutes now and you should receive the recording from this session into your collection. All right, so I've received an email that the recording has been published to my collection. So recording takes up to 30 minutes from when the lecture ends to process. So let's check it out. Indices, and you can see the video here. 2:24 a.m. So let's try to play it and see. You can see it was published. It was published successfully. It was uploaded successfully. So if you want, you could edit the title or add some description, and you can as well make it public for your students to watch. And we've come to the end of this video on lectures. So if you need further clarification or you need assistance on using the platform, please do well to contact us and we'll help you clear your questions and doubts. Thank you for following this series up.